Good morning. My name is Bryant. I am the Chief Medical Officer at Blockchain Health. We are a software company based in San Francisco with a great interest in blockchains and the healthcare vertical. First, I want to thank the organizers for allowing me to speak about healthcare, blockchains, and how they relate to the Sustainable Development Goals. Importantly, we believe that the universal health coverage goal expressed in the displayed report is an important goal that will benefit from the application of blockchain technologies. I apologize that I could not be present for this conference. Please feel free to contact the chapter or to consult the chapter that I have written for the white paper associated with this conference, and please do not hesitate to contact either me or my company if you wish to continue the conversation. The best place to start is to define what the fundamental innovation in the blockchain is. The first is that it permits diverse entities with diverse economic interests to maintain a single shared truth in a single record. Secondly, it permits for anyone inspecting that record to mathematically verify each individual record without the need to trust either another computer, another individual, or another entity. And third, it allows for very strong and robust timestamping abilities where we know with certainty that a certain event happened after a record or before another record with certainty. Alone, these are not new capabilities. However, together in a single platform, it is truly innovating. They, by forcing us to collaborate with minimized trust and to maintain a single record, will allow us to potentially re-engineer antiquated business processes that we have relied on up until now. In the developed world, there is great interest in blockchain technology and healthcare. There is, however, great skepticism and caution. Why is this? I would have to point to the large prior investment in legacy systems and processes. It must be said that they work even though they are complexly bound to one another in a very fragile and costly way. In the developed world, they are working. I believe, though, in the developing world, that healthcare and blockchain technology pose a different risk-benefit profile which favors benefit. In the developing world, we need to achieve greater efficiency in the delivery of healthcare. We need to leapfrog the developed world. We simply cannot afford to commit 10 to 20% of GDP to healthcare when we have other sustainable development goals to pursue. There are 4 areas where blockchain technology is particularly well suited to improving efficiency. Those areas are in identity management, access control, value transfer, and all that is notarial, including automated audit, accountability, and integrity of medical record systems. This in particular is the area where blockchain health is most active. Among the areas that we're active in are in the clinical trial space for large pharmaceutical companies, as well as in the tracking and tracing of pharmaceutical product through the supply chain. In clinical trials, a large monolithic document documenting and recording every event within a clinical trial is submitted to the FDA for approval of the drug before it enters the marketplace. That document comes under great scrutiny. It must record the consent of trial participants, and it must demonstrate adherence to the original experimental design of the clinical trial. This has been very difficult to manage in the past, and the flow of documents has been quite frustrating. On the other side, for the supply chain, with the introduction of new legislation in the United States for tracking and tracing product to enable continuous monitoring of the drug supply chain, the safety of the drug supply chain, and the ability to remove suspect or illegitimate product from the supply chain, we are also applying blockchain technologies to this. Of note, in both of these areas, multiple entities must collaboratively maintain a single record of all events. The author and timestamp of each record is known with certainty whenever performed with blockchain technology behind it. Since every entity is maintaining and inspecting a single record, there is no need for reconciliation between different systems. And due to that single record also, there is continuous auditing for safety and compliance. At Blockchain Technology, we carefully search for meaningful use cases within the healthcare vertical. The international certificates of vaccination seems to be a particularly interesting opportunity to demonstrate blockchain technology. The ICV is a well-established document published under the leadership of the World Health Organization. It is in fact a highly specialized medical record. It is meant to improve the population's resistance to communicable disease. It is maintained by multiple entities, and it is inspected by multiple entities arbitrarily. This record is interesting with respect to blockchains because it is meant to be a complete longitudinal record of a particular individual's immunization history. This record is event-driven. This record contains personal health information, and consents are important on two aspects. One, as far as receiving medical treatment, and the patient must provide consent for that. And secondly, because the patient or the individual may wish to share the contents of the medical record with other interested parties. So, access control and consent are important. And finally, because diverse entities are maintaining and inspecting this single record, the value of having a single record, a single truth, is important. Implementing this as an electronic and mobile version of the ICV is a potentially important and valuable use case to demonstrate. We see in this record multiple areas where blockchain technologies could be of benefit. Every physician, every individual, and every vaccine has an identity. Every encounter here involves the consumption of medical services and vaccine product, which are paid for by either government, insurance, or NGO. The fact that Notary is here with the backing of digital signatures, which are difficult to forge and difficult to repudiate, makes for a highly auditable document that would be of interest to health authorities, NGOs, and physicians. The fact that we have frictionless value transfer in a highly accountable system would allow for NGOs and governments to develop incentive schemes that would promote full immunization of the population. So briefly, we have described the 4 areas where blockchain technologies will have an impact in the healthcare vertical. We believe that higher level applications will make use of these individual blockchain applications and reuse them to develop real healthcare solutions that will be important to the Sustainable Development Goals and universal health coverage in the future. Again, thank you. Please do not hesitate to contact us if you wish to continue the conversation, and please consult the chapter in the white paper. Thanks.